Hi guys, Michelle here with Serendipity House. You're on the Iron Orchid Designs Facebook page, and I have a super fun project for us to do today that I've done a few times and that I'm sure you have seen done. And that is taking a piece of glass, whether it be a window or a plain piece of glass, and turning it into a mirror with a Mercury glass effect with a transfer on it. So this is a fun project. Let me grab my sample here. I did this one a while ago. This is a piece of glass that was just in a frame. You always find a lot of old frames at your frame shops, right? Piece of glass, see-through. That's it. I put the Be Thou transfer on the front, and then on the back I did the Mercury glass effect, so it looks like an old pitted mirror, and I love old pitted mirrors, my favorite thing. And I'm going to show you how to do that. We'll see how much we get through today. I am going to be starting with a big old window that I actually cleaned about half an hour ago, and as I was cleaning it, all of the pieces that hold the window in came out. So I had to caulk it and flip it over and use a different side, but I think it'll still be great. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me just find myself here. Say hello when you come along. Hi Patricia, hi Suzanne. And I'm gonna point the camera right down, and I'm going to bring you right through the whole process. I really didn't do much without you, except to say that this window was filled with cobwebs and dirt, and so I cleaned the dirt off, but I'm going to show you how to clean the glass correctly and how to do all of that part. Okay, so what you're seeing is just an old window. I'm going to put you guys over here because I can't see that far. So the old window, this is the side I was going to have be the original side, but all of the glazing came off when I cleaned it, and so I put caulking on there because it's just what I had, because I want to be careful that this doesn't fall out when we're pushing and adding the transfers. So the first thing I do, if I am doing any kind of glass or anything slippery, I always wash my windows and glass with rubbing alcohol. It evaporates, it doesn't leave anything behind, and it really does. I haven't had a problem with it, so you should know that applying the transfers to glass is using them off-label. They're not really meant to use on glass, but a bunch of us do use it on glass and on windows and have made some beautiful things. So I have found that this is really, you can see it, clean. Woo! Has a little bit of an odor. This is just from the drugstore. There might be different kinds, but I grabbed this actually from my medicine cabinet at home. I am going to be painting this after if I decide to paint. Like I said, this was a last minute change. I was going to do the other side until the glazing came off. So I am picking up some dirt. So you just want to make sure you get all of that dirt out of there. Oh boy, there's glazing coming up this side too. I guess that's what happens when you have an old piece. It's a lot easier to buy a new piece out of a frame. I don't want any of this to get on my transfer, so I'm going to wet another piece and see if I can pick that up. You use alcohol too? My hands are so dry from the winter time. You know, if you are a painter or a crafter, I think we wash our hands so much. Yeah, see, I'm still getting some dirt, so I'm going to just continue down here. But that's a good idea. I actually ran out of gloves. I'm going to stand this up just for a sec so I can kind of, there we go. Sorry, I know this is not a good camera angle, but I wanted to get all the little pieces that are falling on the end there, because this is going to be the bottom of my window when it's done hanging. And it's picked up a little bit of linty stuff. All right, so I'm going to just one more for good measure to make sure it's nice and clean. I'm going to go from edge to edge. There we go. And it just kind of disappears. I started to clean my mirrors in my house with this too, because it just doesn't leave any streaks. let me just pick it up and make sure. The other side is going to need to be cleaned before we do that, so also, but just make sure that's on the other side. Yep, okay. So the front side is where your transfer goes. You could also do this technique stamping, which I've done. And if you're stamping, I like to stamp on the back. So if you have questions about why I'm using the front or the back, please ask. The spray and the Venetian, the looking glass and all of that goes on the back of the mirror, and the transfer goes on the front. So I am going to use pieces of the Prim Trim transfer. Let's see, I get my scissors here. So Prim and Trim, just because I like, when I'm doing this technique, I like the transfer to just kind of accentuate and complement the mirror part of it. So I'm not sure which pieces I'm going to use here or how I'm going to do it. I haven't decided. So let's cut. It's a pretty big window. I'm thinking this might be a good piece. So these are pretty easy to cut because they're all straight lines, but for the ones that aren't, if you haven't used the new transfers, the grid lines are awesome for this. It helps you get a nice straight line across. Okay. I think I'm going to use that one. I'm feeling like I want to do kind of asymmetrical today too. Like I don't want to do like a frame around it. I want to do maybe a couple of strips. And let's see what else. I like this one. I like them all, but I can't use them all on this one window. I'm just making sure to keep them flat so that they don't roll up and come off the backing. So again, this is the Prim and Trim transfer, and if you're just coming in, I've cleaned my window with rubbing alcohol. All right, let's start with those. I'm going to put these ones I'm not going to use behind me. Keep them flat. Hi Linda and Debs and Beth and Sabine. How are you? If I'm missing any questions, I will go back to them. So my background, remember, once this is finished, it's going to be silver and black. It doesn't have to be black. I can talk about that part when we get there. You can actually use any kind of paint to color your pitting, any color. All right, so this is the bottom. Put these aside. I'm just going to take one piece at a time and make it up as I go, because that's usually what I do. All right, so this is what you're actually going to see. That's why I wanted to get the caulking on there first, and I can see actually the caulking on the sides. So I want to cover that up. So I think I'm going to come this side, and I'm just going to kind of loosely measure right here. I still have this on my backing. If it's not perfect, that's fine. Cut it right there. And then just because I want it right up against the edge, I don't know if you guys can see, probably not since I've got all this white through, but I can see the caulking here, and I want to try to cover that up. I don't want to see that. My spray isn't going to cover it either. So I am going to just cut right up to the design edge on here. Now normally you wouldn't see this little tiny bit. I think I need to grab my water. I should probably take a breath too. How are you guys today? I'm talking a mile a minute. All right, that's better. Okay, so once you're all clean, take the mirror, the backing off. I've got mirror on my mind, and I am going to put this, see something again. You want your mirror absolutely clean. So if you see anything, which of course I am. All right, I'm going to put that right, hold on, I want to cut this piece, which was on the end. There's no design on the very end of that. Okay, there we go. And that should cover up. All right, I put a shit down, and I hope I left a stick out. I can't tell you how many times that these sticks, because of the color, they should be neon orange. I'm telling you, neon orange would be great. I put them down, and if I'm doing a project, I've got 5 or 6 of them around, and I don't think I ever find the same one twice. But then when I'm cleaning up, I'm finding 5 or 6 sticks. Guess my eyesight's going too. All right, so this is pretty much just like when you're putting it on furniture, you're pressing down. I am gonna come right down here and try to find an air bubble, because what I don't wanna do is, I'm always paranoid that like glass is gonna break, especially in this case, when I've got, when the caulking came off of this. There we go. So I got an air bubble, and this should go on nice and easy. There we go. See that? Oh, how exciting. Did you guys see that? All right, here we go. I love that this is weathered. Now, you hear that? That's air underneath my transfer. See if I can get that again. That's air. So it's really important to go back and push and rub, get all the air bubbles out. All right, so there's that. Hi, Bonnie. I always lose the stick too, Linda. I don't know what it is. I've got a whole drawer full of them too. All right, now what? I want to do like asymmetrical. I feel like I should do something thinner. Maybe I'll try to layer a couple right here. Let's see, maybe that one, and let me find something a little thinner. Should I add some red in? I'm looking at that and this. Let's cut that out. And I think a little bit of color, since it's all going to be black and silver. Most of this is going to be black and silver, would look pretty. Let me just try to cut straight here. How many of you have done glass or windows? I know the window workshops are very popular. They're hard to find here in like mass quantities for workshops without the grids in them. And they're much easier to do, obviously, without the grids, because you don't have to worry about cutting around them or anything. I think you have a little bit more of a blank slate this way. All right. I am just not cutting straight today. All right, I'm going to put these aside. Okay, so this one, I think I'm going to overlap it, maybe with, sorry, I'm making it up as I go along. Is there one that has red and black in it? Or one that has a similar curvy kind of shape? All right, I think I'm going to take this one and then put this over it. It's so hard to decide. There's too many. So when I'm all done with this project, just to talk about the front part and the transfers, I don't seal. All right, those two are the ones I'm using. I don't seal the transfer on the front of glass or mirror because it's going to change the way, like it's going to change where it sits. or how it looks. Sorry, I'm thinking about cutting this because of how it's going to sit. Let's see. I'm trimming the end so it can just sit right up to the edge. It'll change the opacity of your, or translucency of whatever you're doing. Obviously, if you seal over the top, it's not going to stay as shiny or as clear as if you didn't. And so I just dust them, and I tell people who buy the pieces or who also make these pieces that you just go over it with a cloth and you clean it that way. And I think that is sufficient. The one that I showed you when I started, I made a couple of years ago at least, and it's been up leaning on the wall because I just never had a frame for it. So it was never framed. And so this, like this one also, is just going to be sitting. Oh, that's the second one. I need to pay attention. This is the one I want on first. Let's get the length first. And let's get right there. I'm going to cut the edge and then go. Okay, here we go. We are ready. So this is going to go right here. Up against the edge. There we go. And my stick. Oh my goodness, here it is. Too funny. Yes, stenciling also looks good on the other underside of the glass before you do the Venetian part. The reason that you can't put these on backwards, as you can see, so I'm pressing this on. This is the part you're going to see. Well, if you were to do it on the back side, it really you don't see the same thing. I'll pick this up and show you the actual back, but you really just don't see the design. So that's why you have to do it on the front side. All right, so we're going to find a little bit of a, hard to get my finger in there. All right, let's get an air bubble. Nice. That one on nice and smooth, no air bubbles in that one, maybe because it was a little smaller. All right, and then this one I'm gonna put right kind of over it. All right, yeah, it does go quick if you find an air bubble. That's the trick. All right, but also it sticks really quickly to glass, so you want to try to get it down where you want it, because it does not move as easily. Like if you place it in the wrong place on furniture, almost it's a little bit more forgiving than it is on the glass. So I'm just gonna kind of rub it gently with this, and then we're gonna find an end and get an air bubble. My fingernail can't really get under there. That's what the scissors are. Okay, so let's just push an air bubble. That really is the trick to all transfers. All right, I'm gonna press that down. I need to look at it and see what we've got here. All right, air bubbles is what we've got. Let me just take a look design-wise. I'll show you guys the back. All right, so here's the back. So this is why you have to put the transfers on the front. You saw what we just did? There's no design there, so they're not. And then all of this is wet caulking. So if you have a window where the caulking comes out, make sure you fix that, because you don't want to hang it and then have it have the window fall out, or sell it and have the window fall out. All right, so I'm trying to look at this with you guys design wise. How about one down the center? How would that look? I'm trying to, or kind of off centered. Let's try that. I think I need one more. And it's going to be either kind of here or here. And then we're going to do the Venetian part. And should it be red or not red? I think not red. All right, so I think there needs to be one more strip. I'm just trying to decide which one. Hi Desiree and Mike, how are you? Hi Karen. How about well, no, I want it asymmetrical, which means it kind of should be here, right? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. You know, I can't say it's only paint, actually, because once this is on, it's on. But it's only a window. Actually, the hard part for me is going to be getting it on straight. I'm really bad with that. But you know what? It's only a window. It's only art. If it comes out a little crooked, it'll stay in my space. That's okay. All right, let's try not to get it crooked though. I'm holding my breath. I can't tell if it's crooked because even my table isn't straight, but we're gonna go for it. It's okay. Of all the things to be fearful of in life, I don't think applying a transfer is one. Okay. Alrighty, I love that it's so worn. I think it's gonna look really good with the Venetian part of this. Okay, this is all that I'm gonna do right now for this part because the rest of it is done on the backing. Now, when this is all done, I'll probably oil this or dry brush it or something. But for right now, here's the transfer part. And we're gonna flip this over now because the rest of it gets done on the other side. All right, so careful flipping. All right. Oh, actually, you know what? You could see bubbles from this side. Well, isn't that handy? I never noticed that. I can see where the transfer is not touching. Isn't that good? There's not that much of it, but I can see it, so that's kind of cool. So I'm going to make sure I get it down really well. That's very insightful, just in general, I think. All right, so this is all wet, so I'm going to have to be careful of that. The window is mostly clean. I've already cleaned it once. I'm going to clean it again with the alcohol carefully because I can't touch the white parts. Guess I didn't think that part through very well, but I just didn't want it to fall on me. All right, so again, the rubbing alcohol is great for cleaning your glass for any project, I think. Yep, I can see, because I don't want I can see a couple of weird lines. Maybe it was this caulking, and I don't want that to show up through the next part of my project. Because it will show up. All right, here's what's next. I think we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to do this by my door and open up my door because it's very smelly. But the things that you're gonna need are water and white vinegar. I have got, however much this is, I don't really measure it. This is what you're going to use to make the pitting part of this project, okay? It's going to give you, this is what we're going for. So this is glass that I did. Okay, so the black pitted part is the effect that you're going to get when you spray the vinegar and water on it. It's going to repel the paint we're spraying. And then the last step is going to be to paint that color black or blue. The back of this glass is painted in bohemian blue. And that's the color you're seeing through there, even though it looks black. Or maybe I put black on it also, I don't know. It's been so long. But anyways, that's what the vinegar and water is. And then the part that makes the mirror is looking glass spray that you just get at any hardware store or craft store. There's a couple different kinds. This is the one. There's another one. I'm trying really hard not to get. There's this Rust-Oleum one too, but I like the looking glass the best. All right, I'm going to shake it and move my table toward the door because this stuff, you know, spraying inside. I didn't think I'd get this far. I'm going to do another 10 minutes and then probably finish it on my page because I can only go half an hour or so. All right. Also, what do I need to be careful not to spray paint? So now we're at the door. It'd be good if I didn't spray paint my iPad. Alrighty. I'm going to put my iPad on a stool. Hopefully you guys, well, you don't really need to hear me. I'm just going to spray this. It dries fast and it's going to take a couple of coats. If I can get the top off. Oh, the wind is blowing. It feels good, but I don't know if it's going to be good for my project. All right, so it's going to dry really fast with some little spots. After I do the first light coat, I'm going to spray this on. Whew. That stinks. All right, I'm just going to spray this outside to make sure that it's actually going to spray and not drip all over the place. Okay, now I'm going to spray some light droplets here. And that is going to repel what I spray next. And so there should be little dots on there when we're done. The hard part for me with any spray paint is always getting it even. So I'm going to go in different directions here. I can see through parts. There we go. This is the one project I don't get a heat gun out for. I just don't, on glass, I just don't use my heat gun. All right, but the air's coming in, so it should dry pretty quickly. Does anybody have any questions? We'll wait a couple seconds for that to dry. Whew. I'm gonna say wear a mask. And don't wear your good glasses, because it's stinky. All right, I don't want any drip, so I'm just going to wait a second to lift it, but it's probably about 40 degrees out, and we're right here in the doorway, so it is drying for sure. I'm pretty sure that doesn't help, but I'll pretend it does. I just don't want, I can see all these big droplets here, and I just don't want them to drip if I lift it, because I don't want the drippy look, I want the dots. Yeah, it's a little less vinegar than it is water, Marcy. I didn't really measure. It's probably like 1/4 vinegar and 3/4 water. All right, let's see. You can see it drying. So the parts that are really dark here are the parts that are not dried yet. So it's drying pretty quickly. Actually, it's drying really fast. So the I'm using looking glass spray, which you can just get at a hardware store or at a craft store. This is the original mirror glass stuff. It's called Looking Glass. There's also a Rust-Oleum brand right here. I don't like it as much. I bought it just this one can, and I've always, other than this, used the other one. Can't remember why I didn't like it. I think it wasn't as shiny or something, but I found it locally, whereas the other stuff I have to drive a while to find. All right, let's just, I just want to make sure this isn't going to drip if I lift it. All right, it's got, oh, it is dripping. Shoot, right there. All right, so I'm gonna leave it. All right, so listen guys, I'm gonna say this. I am gonna finish this up. What time is it? It is 1:32. At 1:45, I'm gonna be on my page, Serendipity House, LLC. It should be dry by then. I'll flip it over and show it to you, and I'll show you how I finish it by putting the next coat of paint on the back to fill in all of those spray, all the spray we made, all those little dots, so that they're not clear. We're gonna put another coat of paint on the back. So head over to my page, Serendipity House LLC, give me a like, give me a follow, and I'll see you there in about 12 minutes, and we'll finish this off. All right, have a great day. If you're looking for any of the products that I used, any of the transfers, that's what I use, IOD transfers, you can go to your local stockist. I'm gonna drop a link in here so you can find somebody that's close to you, and you can try this project yourself at home, and I'd love to see it if you do. All right, have a great day, you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.